This is the Life is Art podcast. Life is Art is dedicated to talking with creatives about life and, of course, art. And I am your host, Nathan Lee. And I've got the honor of sitting with Dragana Milovic, incredible artist. To give you a little bit of background about Dragana, she is from Montenegro, and she earned her fine art degree from the faculty of the University of Belgrade. And we're going to learn a little bit about her art and about Dragana herself. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you for inviting me. And I hope we will enjoy this conversation.
Well, I guess one of the first things that I probably assume people would wonder is, from Belgrade to the United States,
Yes.
and particularly Oklahoma, how did your travels take you from there to here?
From Belgrade, I finished my study in Belgrade, and I lived for about 15 years there. And one day I decided with my ex-husband to move to England. He was a computer programmer, and he got a job there. And for me, it was easy decision because I can exist everywhere like an artist. And I stayed in London for 15 years, and I fell in love with my husband, who is an American guy with Serbian roots, and it wasn't an easy decision to move here, but love was subject of my decision.
Now, was it an easy decision to move to the United States or Oklahoma in period?
To Chicago.
To Chicago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's from Chicago, and we lived there for 1 year and a half, and his job get us here.
Okay.
And I can say that I love Oklahoma City, and I like Oklahoma City more than Chicago. It's much safer city than Chicago is. Chicago is beautiful and modern town.
There's a lot of things going on in Chicago right now.
Yes. I feel more relaxed here.
It's a slower pace.
Yes.
I was in New York for a while, and when I came back, I had to get used to the slower pace because I was just in go mode. It was go, 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 go.
Yeah, London is like that.
Is it?
London is busy town. It's huge town, and I realized that when I moved here, how my life was busy in London.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to go from destination to destination in London, you have to make big time to do that and to be on right destination on time. But here, it's really
It's strange. There's a lot of people in Oklahoma that are from all these other places, and I think that pace is sort of a relief to them. And I will say this, and we'll talk about that. As far as being an artist, you've lived overseas in a country that's different than what we do here. Is it more difficult to navigate the art community in the United States than it is where you're from?
I think yes, because London is full of everything, and it was era of art installation, and it was hard to find myself over there like an artist, and it was hard to existing like an artist because literally every single exhibition that I visited was just installation. And for the last couple of years, my life in London, something changed, and let's say easel art was coming back. I was so happy for that. And it was really hard to present my art over the galleries because it's a different system over there.
Yeah.
If you want to exhibit in London, you have to pay gallery space, you have to pay galleries to present you, you have to pay galleries to get public for you.
Wow. So that's very different than
It's very,
here.
very different. And also, every single gallery keep maximum 4 to 6 artists gallery to present them. And especially they keep artists first from England, from Scotland, from Ireland, and
So there was a little bit of preferential treatment as far as their selection of.
yes, yeah. And they're always thinking how to present artists who is not from that part of the world.
Gotcha.
But I was lucky to have good art dealers, and my art find way to communicate with public over them, and I exhibit several places. I get chance to show my artwork, but it was really hard to find way how to present my artwork.
Well, excellent. And you eventually moved to Chicago.
Yes.
And what was the art scene like in Chicago?
You know what? When I moved to Chicago, I moved literally without my art. I bring just a couple of my paintings and came here with wishing to do something new.
So you were a clean slate. You had to start completely from scratch.
Yeah. And it was, let's say, long period accumulation of new energy that I surrounded everywhere. I traveled a lot. I visited for the last, let's say, 6 years, more than 30 states in America. And it's helped me a lot to find my way, to find new way to express myself. And I'm happy for that because I always try to do something new, to not repeat myself, to discover myself on different way. And I feel like I'm on good way.
Well, and you know, when you talk about finding different ways to express yourself, that resonates with me because I have seen two bodies of your work that were incredibly different from one another. So when I saw your work before I met you, and the first work that I saw was very surrealistic, and I love the surrealists, and it looked like they are very dreamlike, and the show that you had was very accomplished as an abstract artist. So I wanted to know, the two styles that I saw from you, are those styles that you've been doing, or was the transition, was it gradual, or were you just, hey, I want to do something else?
So you saw just two phases.
I saw two phases.
And I have more. We can talk.
Well, I have to see more, so I'm gonna really investigate everything that you've done now that you've said that.
If I start talking from my study, I will say I start with figurative art, which was normal because
and that work was more figurative that I saw.
Yeah, I studied classical art, and for the first 2 years, we have only model. We learned how to paint model. We learned anatomy. We learned how to paint portraits, and etc. And from the third year of my study, we had the decision what we want to do and to research ourselves. And I started painting I continued painting model, and I continued painting model on different way, not like a realistic figure, more expressive, more abstract, and then I continued to painting landscapes from Montenegro. That was imagination of landscapes in Montenegro. They were really, how to say, that was my illusion. Art is one illusion.
It's an illusion and kind of an interpretation.
What we see, but what we feel, what we tell ourselves that is true.
We do. We paint the feeling of something.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the most compelling art, not to take anything away with from photorealism, but there's something about an alternate reality created through the work that you cannot have in real life.
Yeah.
Which again, why I like the surrealist.
And that was a really great period of my life when I painted landscapes. I got chance to, when I finished my study, I got chance immediately to get to have a solo exhibition in one prestigious gallery in Belgrade, and everyone told me continue with landscapes, but something inner tells me that I have to do something different.
Yeah,
it's always like that to me. I cannot stand, when you find good model and you are good in it. It's how to say, it's safe comfort zone to continue with that. But I never been that kind of artist. I always wanted to discover more in inner myself, to see what else I can do, what else I can create. And I am very changeable. And at the end, from distance, when I see all my art, I can easily see connection. It's like writing. You cannot imitate your writing. Your writing is your writing,
That's very true. And artists develop voices. And it's very strange. Despite the transition that I saw visually, I would know that was your work.
Transition is, how do you feel?
Yeah.
You paint your feeling. You don't paint something what you see. You always, I can say for myself, I always paint my feeling, and my hand is extension of my mind, and my hand tells me what I'm doing. Sometimes you cannot control yourself. For me, very often, cannot control myself. For example, for now, I have some idea what I want to do. When you stand in front of a white canvas, something different appears, and something what completely surprised you.
Does it sometimes go against what you originally wanted to do?
Hardly. Hardly, because I'm very unpredictable, and I keep inspiration from my inner self, especially from my inner self. I collect many things, Maybe this conversation can inspire me for some future artwork. I never know. And when I stand front canvas, my hands dictate.
It kind of takes over.
Yeah. And my emotions dictate also what kind of color I'm using. You cannot control that. Emotions,
you don't have
emotions very connected with colors. Not even if you are an artist, even how dress yourself, how to create your life.
I think there's a certain aesthetic that we as artists are attracted to. I think we are more sensitive to, like, we understand why art does something to a room, as opposed to that same room without any art. It creates this universe. And it's I try to explain that to some of my more practical friends and that's one thing that I wanted to talk with you about too. There's creating art for the sake of art, and then there's the business of art, of course. But I try to, because I've got friends that are not artists, I try to explain to them the value of art in a way that they can appreciate, because the beauty itself isn't something that they're like, okay, I don't care that it's beautiful. But subconsciously they do, because the areas that they go to are beautiful and affected by art in some way. So how do you explain, or how would you explain the value of art to somebody that's not necessarily an
I
artist?
mean, the value of my art, or generally the value of art.
The value of art. As an artist, we fight that battle to be relevant to people that don't think what we do is important. It's kind of like, well, it's just art. I don't think about just art. I think about the ways that art affects us.
You know, when I'm in my studio, when I'm doing my art, I never think about people, what they're going to think about my art when I present gallery, because it is big distraction for me if I think about people, what they are going to think about my art. I just focus on my art and trying to do my best.
I like that approach. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't.
Absolutely. And when I present my art to the gallery, I make distance from my art, and I feel like I'm some visitor. And that was good. That is good chance to analyze your art. When you are around your art every day, you cannot have clear picture what you are doing, what is good. You can see what is good, what is not good, but you have. I'm talking about myself. I have only clear picture when I exhibit my art. And public, what can I say about public? We are all different, and you cannot generalize things. Everyone asks you different question. Everyone on different way, and everyone consume your art on different way. And I'm trying always to find the way to explain my art and on the best way to the public.
Well, I tell you, I remember my first show, and there was a person, and he said, he said, "Are you the artist?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the artist. I like one of your pieces." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." He said, and he took me by the shoulder. He said, "No, you don't understand. I like one of your pieces." And I can't remember his name. He's passed away now. He was a poet here. He's a really, really good guy once I got to know him. But some of my work didn't affect people. And it took me a while to not be offended. But now, it's kind of like I make it and I let the chips fall where they may. And it feels pretty good. It's not even about, I guess it's really not about convincing people, and I'm probably going to take that approach from you. It's about connecting to people that already get it.
I have also different way when I talking with consumer of my art. They always want to ask many questions to me, but I'm not from the last exhibition. I am doing something opposite. I asked them questions because I wanted to know what they are thinking about my art, how they analyze my art. That's better. I think it's better interaction with public if you force them to analyze your art.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of art and galleries, Susan McCalmont in 1515 Gallery.
Yes.
How did you two meet, and how did that gallery relationship happen?
When I moved to Oklahoma City, the first place that I visited was Untitled Gallery, and I met Laura, beautiful lady who is...
I love Laura to death.
Oh, he's fantastic. She's fantastic lady.
I have got to get her on here too.
Immediately after Corona started. And I felt terrible. Oh, what I'm going to do here?
Yeah.
Can I exist like an artist? I came here knowing no one. And I was fortunate to meet Susan over my friends. And I called her and we organized meeting. I bring with me a couple of my works, and I met her in on older place of the Trouvé, and she loved my work. She visited my studio and she chose some of my work, and that was beginning for our friendship. I can say friendship.
Oh yeah.
Not business. Susan is a very specific lady.
She's very kind and she's just so non-pretentious. I mean, her taste is amazing as far as her understanding of visual art is great. But I think she does something that's very, very essential. She demystifies art so that people want to come and see it, and they don't feel like, okay, I'm not smart enough to understand this. She makes it so that the art meets the people where they're at. And I really like that about her.
Oh, Susan is very smart, a smart woman.
She is.
And she has wide, how to say, wide interest about art.
She does.
Doesn't like just, I like to present just abstract art. I like to present just landscapes or some portrait. She likes a wide range.
She embraces all of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like one preference that she has. So it's great that she's including, and I would consider you international artists, even though you reside here.
Yeah.
It's great that she embraces all those visions because you never know what show is coming next. So.
Absolutely.
I am here with artist Dragana Milovic, and we're going to take an intermission, and we'll come back for the second half of Life is Art, and I'm looking forward to further conversations with her. All right, I am back with Dragana Milovic, and we were having an interesting conversation over our intermission. I was asking her about when galleries fall in love with a certain vision that you have, and sometimes you're not able to show the full capability of what you do. Has that affected you as an artist as far as the galleries that you've shown in? Do they have an expectation that you have to show one particular series, or being typecast is what
I get offer for some solo exhibition, only what I expect from me to show something best of me.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't matter if I show 5 works, 2 works, 10 works, they must be, in my vision, complete, and in my vision, quality works.
So they don't really. It doesn't really matter if you're doing some of your surrealistic work, if you're doing your abstract work. You've experienced support for all of it.
No, but they must be connected.
Understood. That's one thing that I've struggled with as an artist is there's so many things that I do, and you become known for something. You have a body of work that resonates with everybody. And my sculptures are what people primarily know me for. And in the past, I've been in situations where you have a vision and it resonates with the gallery owner. And then you bring something new to the table and they're like, oh no, we're not going to do that. Which I'm happy that I have an experience with Susan, but it's a story that I've heard from many different artists. So your perspective, because you're traveled and you've seen galleries all over the world, and you've been in some of those galleries, was your experience was different than that? So you were able to bring all of your visions to the table?
No, I never create something what galleries expected to see from myself. I always created something that I wanted to create. I think it's the right way to grow up like an artist.
Were you ever turned away by galleries when you shifted gears?
It's never happened to me. It's happened something sometimes in London because they profile their galleries, and it happened also in Chicago. You have to find the right gallery for your artwork, but when you find the right gallery for your artwork, there is not chance to for that kind of unexpected thing like, oh, this artwork is not going to be good in my gallery. Never happened.
One of the first mistakes I made is I submitted a portfolio with 5 different styles, and I didn't research the gallery. And I think a lot of emerging artists, they don't necessarily know to do their due diligence as far as looking at the gallery and finding if they're even a good fit. And you end up getting shot down, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a bad artist. That's not even the case. It's you didn't learn about where you were wanting to show your work.
From my experience, when you do something good, you think that you always trying to do something good, and you're thinking that you are on good way. And good art always find a way to
emerge and be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you are looking for a job, you're applying for many places, and you will not be successful for many places, but one place is waiting for you. That's the same with art.
I think artists need to hear that. A lot of times, all the no's, and I've told young artists this, look, you're going to get no more often than not. If your win-loss record is 3 wins and 22 losses, then you're doing something right. I don't know that they have a support group of people that have done it. I've seen, artists with support groups of their own peers, and they're going through the same thing. But I think it's really great when artists work with younger artists. And when I say, like younger artists, I mean like there's people that have just gotten started at 40, but they're emerging. But to have that mentorship sometimes keeps them from making a bunch of mistakes as far as presenting their work from a professional standpoint. Have you ever been involved in any mentorship with artists? Because I know you were doing classes, right? You were
Yeah. I especially done a lot of classes in London. It was like private tutoring from kids to students who studied in prestigious art school in London, and it was a great experience, especially with students, especially different kids and different students who want to be one day good artists, because I feel like people paying a lot of money, especially in England, maybe some other places, to finish prestigious school, but they get nothing. They learn how to write essays, they learn how to research something, but they don't learn how to be an artist, how to express themselves over the art. And I help many students to find their way to do something creative and to be self-confident, to show something.
Do you think artists are already artists, or do you learn to be an artist? This is something I have had many a beer talking, with other artist friends about. I personally think that when we work with people, as far as, being art educators or whatever, we're bringing out something that's already there. And I don't know that even matters whether they're good or not. I think it's the compulsion to make it.
You have to be tactilized. I don't know, is it the right word on English? You don't have to be too much, how to say, you have to be careful how to teach people to do something. You have to leave them to think on something on their way, and you are here to correct them to find that way, right way.
So that balance of letting them breathe,
absolutely,
but still kind of guiding them, from a technical, maybe even a technical standpoint,
absolutely,
or something like that.
Absolutely, creativity is something that you'll keep on inner yourself, and you have to find by yourself how to get it out. And I am here to help you a little bit, not too much.
That's interesting. One of my art teachers told me there's a big difference between an artist and a draftsman. And a draftsman draws everything correct. It looks right. A dog looks like a dog, a cat looks like a cat. But an artist may not be technically proficient. The thing is, that draftsman may go on to be a doctor and never think about that drawing that he did or she did.
Yeah.
And the true artist may go on to be a car salesperson, but they're always thinking about that drawing or that painting or that thing that they did. And it's very difficult, for a lot of artists, because it's such a spiritual thing. It's so connected to you when you go into business, because there's two different ways of thinking. Are you ever conflicted?
That's true, but I was lucky in my life that I always been in art. I never worked something else.
Yeah.
Just art. And
so you've always been consistent in that.
Yeah, but I had phases when I was blocked. Like I had phases when I not work at all physically.
Yeah.
But my mind worked all the time. And I created my art in my mind. And when you're ready to give something new, it's an accumulative process, you know? You have to accumulate new energy, especially when I do some solo exhibition. And when I'm excited about that artworks that I presented, I am full of ideas. I am thinking to do, I am going to do this and this and this. But when my exhibition is finished, my energy is falling down, and I have to accumulate. I have to have period to accumulate something new, some new experience.
So you have to build that creative force back up again.
My creative process. And my dreams also help me a lot. I am dreaming a lot, and I am dreaming in colors. And I can remember my dreams from 30 years ago.
I'm assuming a lot of those ended up being in the paintings. I remember, and I cannot remember the title of it, the painting with the cat. I had a cat for 18 years, and I immediately gravitated over to that one. Was that piece from a dream? If it's the one that I'm talking about that's in the gallery right now.
I can say that was that painting with cats was transit that I was doing after that painting. It was transit to something that I'm doing right now, geometric forms. That painting is full of geometric.
I saw those forms coming through.
Yeah. And I just thought about myself yesterday, and I've realized that first my artwork, before I was on my way to thinking, I am going to study art. And the first my artwork, like, let's say serious, I prepared myself to be part of one private school for 2 years. And I created several small artworks on paper. It was geometrical forms.
So it comes full circle. What do you have on the horizon? What's going on as far as things that you have coming up in the near future?
In the near future, at the moment, I am doing some artwork on paper, and also I am doing something with blue pigment. Blue pigment is something that really impressed me. I like that color. It's ultramarine pigment, and I spent a lot of time to teach myself how to fix blue pigment to the canvas or to the objects, because I'm, for the last, let's say, nearly 2 years, I'm doing three-dimensional canvases with some object on them, and I'm using very often blue pigment, and that's something that
What's the fixation with blue right now?
That's secret.
We don't get to know.
It was really a long process. I tried with many techniques. I tried to find way researching over the internet, because I'm not only artist who use ultramarine pigment, and I didn't get any ideas. I didn't got any ideas from my research, and I just started doing it on my way. It was really a long process. I used some glue. It doesn't work well, because when I put glue on canvas and when I put pigment over the glue, pigment lost that fresh color, and find some medium who we use to with acrylic colors, and it works well.
Nice.
It works really well. I remember time when I exhibit some canvases in Object Trouvé gallery. That was first 4 canvases that I done with the blue pigments, and I was so nervous because they didn't fix it well, and I said, Susan, listen to me, Susan. If they if you don't want to exhibit them, don't exhibit them,
Mm-hmm.
please. And I spent a lot of time to find right way to fix blue pigment. And she said, no, they are really good. Experimenting with some materials is something that move me really in a good way.
Oh, yeah. I completely understand.
Today is not enough to use your brushes and to use colors and canvas. This is primary.
It's very basic.
Yeah, it's very basic.
Yeah.
Use everything that is around you.
I think the experimentation.
Paper, newspapers, some.
That's the most fun.
Some objects. Just play.
That is the most fun.
Play and just remove what is not connected well with other objects on your canvas.
Well, I have to tell you, I am looking forward to any and everything that you do. And I would love to have you back in the future as you start doing projects and you start, showing more stuff. We got to share notes on materials too, because I'm a big fan of experimenting. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that some of it's worked and some of it has been a complete disaster, but it's always fun in figuring that out. So, Dragana, what is if you could tell a young artist something right now that would help them and further their endeavors as an artist, what advice would you give them?
Advice?
Words of wisdom and encouragement.
To be constant, to not, not to say themselves, oh, I done great work, I am one genius. No, that's not improvement. That's just moment, like you are happy. We are not happy for a long time. Be happy in one moment.
Yep.
That's the same with paint, with art. You are happy because you are doing something good, but think about tomorrow. Think about another work and try to improve your work. Try to be better. Always try to be better than you are. That's really important, especially for young artists, and work. When you are young, you have to work really too much, because you have to find the way of yourself, to express yourself, to not be someone else, to be you. It's really hard. But
it is.
If you have some vision, just follow your dreams. And don't give up on the first,
Don't give up on your first go-around.
Yeah.
Very sage advice. This has been a great Life is Art. I am so glad that you came up here to have this conversation, and I'm looking forward to future conversations. I'm going to leave links to everything that Dragana is doing so that you can learn more about her work and what she's doing here also at the gallery. And I look forward to our next talk. And until the next time, for Life is Art, this is Nathan Lee with Dragana Milovic, and you all take care.
Thank you, Nathan. I enjoyed in our conversation. Thank you very much.
It was great. Let's do this again.